Hey guys, it's Justina Ireland again here on Writing in the Margins, and today we're going to talk about the insidious phrase, historically accurate. So, a couple weeks ago, there was some brouhaha on Twitter, if you missed it, about a hashtag called Diversify Agent Carter. If you aren't familiar with the show, Agent Carter is a Marvel Universe character who is kind of pre-Avengers. She makes a brief appearance, I believe, in one of the first Captain America movie. I didn't watch it. I'm more of a Winter Soldier kind of girl. And she has this pretty, kick-ass show where she's, taking on the supernatural bad guys, sort of a 1940s version of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is probably one of my favorite TV shows on TV right now because it is such an effortlessly diverse cast. It's actually so diverse that, when you start listing all the diversities on the show, with the exception of an openly gay character, we've pretty much seen it all. So that's pretty awesome that, to see like an Asian woman and, someone who's biracial, to see, multiple black characters, not just the one. That's a really, really cool thing. A lot of fans, when Agent Carter came, were disappointed that the same diversity didn't carry over to the new show, because Agent Carter is a de facto spin-off of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And so when this season was renewed, we came up with people came up with the Diversify Agent Carter hashtag, which was, if you have some time, go on Twitter and check it out. It's simply brilliant, the examples people provide of people of color, of marginalized voices doing amazing things in this, 1940s, immediately following World War II atmosphere. Until somebody came up with the phrase historically accurate. And basically the phrase was, well, segregation was still a thing then. Would people of color being on a show and having active roles really be historically accurate? The problem with the phrase historically accurate is it takes some sort of fake or false standard and applies it to the media and the books and entertainment we consume. For example, if you're watching something that takes place in 1821 London, and if it's all white people, you'd expect it to be historically accurate. But the reality is that London was a very diverse character. Remember, there were a lot of Native Americans that were taken from the United States to London. There were slaves in London. You would have seen different people. To say that something is historically accurate because it is all white is a false equivalency, because nowhere in the world is all one thing. And one of the things about this phrase historically accurate is not only does it take this false standard and apply it to things that are inherently not realistic, example, anything that takes place in the Marvel comic universe, where we have, people with secret identities, we have superpowers, we have people who die and come back to life, alien technology. This is obviously something that's not factual, that's not based in any sort of reality except the reality of storytelling. So to put the historically accurate label on it already negates the fact that it inherently isn't historically accurate. You see this a lot with certain genres within the science fiction and fantasy realm. You have high fantasy, and it's all based on Western European culture, and it's very whitewashed, and people are like, well, it's because my historical fantasy is historically accurate. But it's historical fantasy. It's inherently inaccurate. You see this also with certain genres like steampunk, where you have a very all-white cast in 1880s London, and that's brilliant, but there are no people of color. If you have magic in your story, or you have technology that wasn't really in existence at the time, what does historical accuracy matter? You've already shot that to hell. So putting in a brown person, if that's your breaking point when you have dragons on the page, you kind of need to relook your personal biases. The other thing with historical accuracy is it just really becomes this easy way of denying diversity. It's lazy storytelling. It's lazy storytelling to assume that your entire cast is going to look and behave and talk the same way. If you don't have a single person on the page who is, wildly diverse, it's just laziness in the writing. The existence of, people of color, whether they be black or Latina or Latino or, anyone, is kind of just really lazy. I mean, do you think gay people just showed up in the 70s, like just for Stonewall? So it's kind of, a failure of our historical storytelling and the way we teach history, because we teach a very whitewashed, hero-centered version of history, and a lot of times our heroes tend to look like the people we want to keep in power. So just something to keep in mind when you're writing your stories and you're reading things and you don't see that diversity. Don't let yourself fall into the trap of the historically accurate, because historical accuracy is inherently inaccurate. After all, history is written by people. People make all kinds of mistakes. Hey, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you'll check out the other videos on the channel. I hope you'll see kind of some of the things other people are talking about. And I hope you'll come back and, listen to us talk about diversity a little more. Bye.